All right, moms to be, you're doing everything right. The prenatal vitamins, the appointments, the blood work, the glucose tests, and the ultrasounds. You've memorized every milestone on those pregnancy apps. You're showing up. You're following every recommendation. You're building the perfect nest for your baby to come. But here's what nobody's telling you in this approach is that while your prenatal team monitors your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your baby's physical measurements, they're completely overlooking the one system that controls everything else in your body. It's your nervous system. Think about it. Your nervous system is the air traffic controller for your entire body. It's orchestrating thousands of complex changes every single second of your pregnancy. It determines how you adapt to stress, how well you sleep, and whether or not your hormones are balancing out properly. Even how your labor will unfold. More importantly, is that this is the part that nobody should be missing in their pregnancy journey. Your nervous system literally programs your baby's nervous system for life. This is something called co-regulation. Your stress patterns aren't just affecting you. They're creating the blueprint of how your baby will handle stress, digest food, respond to illness, and regulate emotions for the rest of your life. Today, we're going to be discovering the critical test that measures your nervous system function during your pregnancy, something called insight scans. You're going to learn how your stress levels can literally transfer to your baby through co-regulation, and why standard prenatal care completely misses this in the traditional medical model, and how measuring and supporting your nervous system can transform your pregnancy experience and make sure that your baby's development is on cue. The trend that I see in my practice every single week, exhausted pregnant moms who are doing absolutely everything right but still feel overwhelmed, they're anxious, and they're worried that something and somehow they're failing their baby. But yet they've been told that their numbers look good, their babies are growing well. But what actually is happening is that their nervous system is really handling all this stress in modern pregnancy. They've got work stress, financial stress, relationship changes, plus the physical demands of growing a baby inside their body. The research backs up what we're seeing. When mom's nervous system are stuck in a fight or flight mode during pregnancy, it affects everything from the baby's vagal tone, development, to their first emotional resilience. Studies also show that prenatal stress creates an epigenetic change, literally altering how your baby's genes express themselves. Yet standard prenatal care doesn't measure any of this. You get your blood pressure checked religiously, but nobody's checking the system that actually controls your blood pressure in the very first place. Now, your nervous system is the missing piece in this prenatal care. Prenatal care in a medical environment is a study of pathology. Your pregnancy is not a disease, but a natural occurrence. So your nervous system isn't just managing stress. It helps to balance your HPA axis, which handles stress, or with your HPG axis, which helps to manage the reproductive organs. When this balance gets disrupted, you don't just feel stressed, but your entire pregnancy physiology shifts. Now, this effect cascades through the every system in your body. Poor nervous system regulation leads to disrupted sleep, way beyond just the normal pregnancy discomforts. It can compromise your immune function, leaving you more vulnerable to illness. And the hormonal imbalances, it affects everything from mood to milk production later on. And this increased tension can lead to longer, more difficult labors, which can lead to intervention. Standard tests show very small limitations of this picture. Blood work shows what's in your blood. Ultrasounds show how your baby's size and position, but neither reveal whether your nervous system is stuck in sympathetic overdrive or able to access that calm, regulating parasympathetic state, which is so important for what your baby desperately needs. Now, co-regulation is huge. The baby's nervous system doesn't develop in isolation. It learns from you and your habits. Through the umbilical cord, which is literally a power cord for stress signals, your nervous system patterns transfer directly to your baby's developing body. If you're consistently stressed, Your baby's system is literally marinating in those stress hormones. And it leads to the world's most dangerous challenges when they even arrive. This programming affects your baby's vagus nerve development, the nerve that will control their digestion, their immune system, their breathing, and even their emotional regulation for the rest of their life. A well-developed vagus nerve means better sleep, less colic, stronger immunity, and the ability to self-soothe. Compromising this can mean just the opposite. Now, the good news is that when your nervous system finds balance, your baby benefits immediately. This isn't about being a perfect stress-free mom. That's impossible. However, it's giving your nervous system the support it needs to shift out of the survival mode and into a thriving mode. Now, these insight scans, they're a game changer for an analytical assessment. These are gentle, non-invasive scans that just take a few minutes, and they reveal what no other test can show: how well your nervous system is actually functioning. And think of it as finally having a dashboard for the air traffic controller of your body to take a look at how well your body's adapting to these stressors. Now, there's 3 different measurements that create this complete picture. We have the thermal scan, which shows stuck in fight or flight or able to rest and digest. The surface EMG reveals whether or not you're physically holding tension inside your body or whether you're wasting it away. And the heart rate variability scan, it measures your body's adaptability and resilience. It basically shows where your body's nervous system is functioning and adapting to these stressors. Now, they're completely safe throughout pregnancy. There's no radiation, no invasiveness, no risk. They're gentle sensors that read your body's signals that are already there and present. You could have them done daily, although it's not necessary, and without any real concern. So let me show you a scan review of a pregnant mom, 31 weeks gestation. All right, what we have here is a complete scan review, one very familiar to what you will see on your review of scans in my practice. Now, the insight scans are threefold. We have our HRV normal right here. HRV shows activity from 0 to 100 on this scale, and then balance of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Now, ideally, the dot resides at 100% activity, 100% balance. Now, in this scan review right here, we are seeing that this young lady is transitioning down here in the 3rd quadrant. This shows lower than desirable activity levels, although a moderately balanced nervous system. So think of it as her body's horsepower is lacking. When the body's horsepower is lacking and the body's responsible for growing another human inside, that creates a challenge to the body's adaptability and resilience to external stressors. Now, this is a very important factor because we have to factor this type of thing in to her care plan. And that's why the HRV is so important, because when your activity of the nervous system is lower than desirable and you're pregnant, this will be a key fundamental challenge in regards to performing well in your pregnancy journey. Now, this is the goal, is that we want to get this to go up to sit right here at 100%. The next one is the thermography scan, looking at temperature and differences within the spine. We take a bilateral, which is 2 thermometers, roll it from the bottom going up towards the spine, comparing left and right. When we look here, although this practice member was suffering with lower back pain, radiating pain into her right hip, major amounts of stress levels, we see that her stress levels are all residing here in the neck. Now, that neck houses nerves that are so critically important to the brain and body's communication. When these stress patterns are present, it will interfere in the brain's ability to communicate to other organs, muscles, and tissues. The scan down here still uses the same thermography readings, however, it uses the baseline measurement at the very bottom of the spine. We expect temperatures to warm up, which would be red, as they go up the spine. When you see blue going in, that shows chronic levels of stress. And again, this shows such a dysregulated nervous system when there are temperature imbalances that are clustering and opposing each other on opposite sides. Now the surface EMG, this one right up here on the right corner, we should see a crescendo-like effect, narrow, wide, narrow. This looks at amplitude of muscle tone and tension. This shows dysregulation within the neuromotor system. All of that stress level is happening in that cervical spine. When we look at these areas, there are areas of underactivity, areas of overactivity. When we look at regulation, symmetry is at 54%. Efficiency is at 46%. So this is where we have a neuromotor system, a system that requires nerve and muscle balance to be efficient, symmetrical, and within normal regulation. When these areas are pulling to different sides, it shows a direct disconnect in the right and left brain communication to that body. That neurological response will affect other pelvic floor muscles, other muscles and organ systems within the body. This scan representation allows us to customize a unique and very appropriate care plan to allow that body to start functioning and adapting better to stress. If you're tired of wondering whether your stress is affecting your baby or not, or if you just want some more surface level reassurance that your prenatal visits, if you've already started to measure and support the systems that control everything else, which is your nervous system, you need this analysis. You're not asking for too much. You're asking for complete, comprehensive care for you and your baby so that your baby's lifelong health patterns are programmed the right way, today through your nervous system. You have the power to optimize that programming. Don't let this be the prenatal test that you wish you would have known about sooner. Click the link in our bio to schedule an insight scan with me, Dr. Tim Nickel at Maximize Chiropractic, located conveniently in West Sacramento. Comment scan below or send us a DM to learn more about how neurologically focused prenatal chiropractic care can transform your pregnancy and your baby's future.